Yo, what up, everyone? Welcome to the G Lew Show. Friday Night Live. I know we're a little bit late tonight. We're waiting on the homie Havoc to pull up. He seems to be having troubles logging in. So that's why we're late, but I thought I'd just come on in. You know what I mean? I don't want to keep y'all waiting tonight. How's everyone doing tonight? Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the G Lew Show. I am G Lew. G Lew. Oh yeah, everyone, I hope everyone's been able to check out our new channel. We just built a new page, the G Lew Show on IG. Make sure if you're on here, you're on YouTube, you follow me on IG at the G Lew Show. We have a new G Lew Show page called the G Lew G Show, I believe. DD, if you're in the chat, put it up. Hold on, let me make sure. I got this right. Yes, the official G Lew Show page. My bad. The official G Lew Show page. Make sure you guys go follow that page. We're gonna have all the everything pertaining to the G Lew Show on that page. You know what I mean? So please follow that page. And we're also gonna have the website back up soon. The GLewShow.com will be back up soon. So we'll have all the merch. You know what I mean? Everything related to the show on there. Yep. So make sure you check that out. Follow that page, the official G Lew Show on IG. Shout out to Tweed Cadillac in the chat. If you missed my brother Tweed show last night, make sure you go back and check that out. 93 Tweed FM every Thursday night right here at 7:15 p.m. Shout out to Tweed Cadillac Spectacular Lowrider Oldies. Shout out to my producer DD Hairston. Shout out to my G Lew family. What up, Sassy? What's up, sis Emily? Sister Trish, Miss Trish, whatever you call her. Put the Trish on it. Blessings. Good evening, Sister Trish. Shout out to the homie John Jackson in the chat. What up, though? Shout out to Keisha. Shout out to Gang. What up?
all when approached by a stranger. We chill, although my girl gets mad at me. She has to understand that SCC is family. She's cussing and fussing and trying to break the Havoc's heart. But understand, girl, you knew from the jump start. I ran the streets, keeping these suckers off my homie's back, making records and trying to avoid getting jacked. SCC, yeah, it's a love thing. I don't slang, but you're thinking that I gang bang, cause I wear khakis. Loach, you say I never say I love ya, and mean it in a strong way. Girls on my jock, you say I got it going on. In South Central, the place that I call home. The telephone rings, but it's you that I'm thinking of. I know it's hard to deal with, but it's gangsta love.
Yeah, you gotta deal with this.
South Central, the home of true gangsters. Down for all when approached by a stranger. We chill, although my girl gets mad at me. She has to understand SCC is family. She's cussing and fussing and trying to break the Havoc's heart. But understand, girl, you knew from the jump start. I ran the streets, keeping suckers off my homie's back, making records and trying to avoid getting jacked. SCC, yeah, it's a love thing. I don't slang, but you're thinking that I gang bang, cause I wear khakis. Loach, you say I never say I love ya, and mean it in a strong way. Girls on my jock, you say I got it going on. In South Central, the place that I call home. The telephone rings, but it's you that I'm thinking of. I know it's hard to deal with, but it's gangsta love.
Yeah, you gotta deal with this gangsta love. You gotta deal with this gangsta love. You gotta deal with this gangsta love.
All right, y'all. I think Havoc the Mouthpiece just pulled up. He just pulled up. So we coming up after this.
There's no place like home.
There's no place like home.
This is West Coast Gangsta Anthem. Rap will fill a prankster's cap. Ever diss me to my face, then I'm laying you flat. I'm a hub city baby, ain't a nigga that can fade me. If you ask them, they will tell you that them nutty niggas crazy. Big bad West Side is what I'm yelling. On the yard, I was belling as a 5-time felon. Swing swords like Conan, but still I'm my grown man. Whatever I need, I can get with my own hand. Remy or the Henny in the day, it was Martell. Compton, but I'm mobbing with the South Central Cartel. Hit you with a barbell, cause I'm raising all hell. Niggas try to stop me before, but they all fail. Now what it do is true blue on mine. Commit a crime, ain't lying, ain't dropping a dime. No truths, get a noose, cause I'm leaving you hung. Where you from? 2 fingers in the thumb. Oh shit. Hey, this that gangsta shit. Oh, get wicked in these streets. Keep it gangsta on these beats. Pour out liquor one time for them gangsters that's gone. Oh shit. Hey, this that gangsta shit. Oh, get wicked in these streets. Keep it gangsta on these beats. Pour out liquor one time for them gangsters that's gone.
I parked in the handicap without a sign, cause it's where the Crips park all the time on mine. I got Havoc riding shotgun. Got one bad bitch, skin glistening under the sun. It's Uno, shot Paul, looking for a real one. Make a real killer wanna smoke a ill one. They go love to my South Central homies from the get-go. Here come J.O. Felony, that motherfucker schizo. Scary ass rappers always acting like they with the shit, till they get socked in they lip by a real Crip or a real Paru. I ain't the one to lie to, then you fold like a folding chair when them niggas tried you. That's because you got put on the set, don't mean you battle tested. I've been doing this shit, bitch, since adolescence. They already know what it is, you ain't got a question. My hustlers know that I'ma shine when I'm on the record.
Hey, this that gangsta shit. Oh, get wicked in these streets. Keep it gangsta on these beats. Pour out liquor one time for them gangsters that's gone. Oh shit. Hey, this that gangsta shit. Oh, get wicked in these streets. Keep it gangsta on these beats. Pour out liquor one time for them gangsters that's gone. Oh shit.
back, gangsters the man. Yeah, this Havoc the Mouthpiece from the South Central Cartel. And that gangster shit still hit. From the crooked north to the dirty south to the wicked east. Y'all know it started in the wild, wild west. Just like Gaimchng3r said, they not like us. And it's still in gas we trust. This is a West Coast gangster anthem.
Parked in a handicap without a sign, cause it's where the Crips park all the time on mine. I got Havoc riding shotgun. Got one bad bitch, skin glistening under the sun. It's Uno, shot, pour liquor for a real one. Make a real killer wanna smoke a ill one. Pay go love to my South Central. Homies from the get-go. Here come J.O. Felony, that motherfucker schizo. Scary ass rappers always acting like they with the shit. Till they get socked in they lip by a real Crip or a real Paru. I ain't the one to lie to, then you fold like a folding chair when them niggas tried you. Just because you got put on the set don't mean you battle tested. I've been doing this shit, bitch, since adolescence. They already know what it is, you ain't got a question. My hustlers know that I'ma shine when I'm on the record.
Hey, this that gangsta shit. Oh, yeah, wicked in these streets, keep it gangsta on these streets. Pour our liquor one time for your love. Gangsters that's gone, oh shit. Hey, this that gangsta shit. Oh, yeah, wicked in these streets, keep it gangsta on these streets. Pour our liquor one time for your love. Gangsters that's gone, oh shit. Back, gangsters the man. Yeah, this Havoc the Mouthpiece from the South Central Cartel. And that gangster shit still hit. From the crooked north to the dirty south to the wicked east. Y'all know it started in the wild, wild west. Just like Gaimchng3r said, they not like us. And it's still in.
What up, everyone? Welcome back to the G Lew Show. I am G Lew, and it is Friday Night Live. And without any further ado, because y'all been waiting long enough, we got the man himself, the legendary Mr. Havoc, the Mouthpiece, is live in the building.
About last
week. There he is. There he is. What up, sir?
You know, I was out in sport, man, and got caught up on that game, man.
Man. I was waiting on you too, bro.
Hey, I supposed to have been here at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon and wind up 2 flights got delayed.
Man,
I was
it's
hurt.
all love.
But I'm here tonight,
it's all
though.
love, bro.
I'm here tonight, though.
That part, man. It's been a minute, bro. It's been a minute. How you been?
Man, I'm good, man. You know, I've been through it. You know how it is in this first of all in life in general, and then being a part of hip hop and West Coast music in particular, and basically, man, being the son of a legend, man. I done been through a lot, man, and I'm just blessed right now to be able to overcome so many obstacles and being here still today, and basically, man, making a big turnaround with my career. And basically, going out, trying to go out on top, man, the final journey.
That part. Now, Havoc, I mean, for the people who don't know or may have been living under a rock, give the people, because like you said, you want to finish on top and you've been through a lot. The brother's journey is man, we need to be here 5 hours for that, I'm sure.
Man.
That. But tell the people a little bit about your background for the people who don't know, Havoc.
Okay. First of all, I was born in Chicago, Illinois. I was born a celebrity kid. My father is actually in the Music Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Got stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, New Jersey Walk of Fame. We're in Chicago, everything. Hit records like Have You Seen an Old Girl? So my father is one of the iconic members of the group, the Shy-Lights. And I grew up, playing with the Jackson 5, had a great life growing up because of my father. And it pretty much being around, so many celebrities as a kid, it kind of inspired me to know about music in general. going to Soul Train when it was in Chicago, meeting Don Cornelius and Pop Staple and the Staple Singers. Went to school with the baby sister of the Emotions. Like I said, I played with Michael, Randy, and Janet as a kid. I used to call Joe Jackson Uncle Joe. He taught me how to play pool. And I pretty much, man, had a great historic life growing up because of my father.
Right.
And then, and so when I was out here in California on vacation in the early 70s, that's when I had told, myself that I was going to move to California when I got big. So fresh out of high school, I was on the next thing smoking, and came to California, man, and was trying to find my way. My first call, again, was to Joe Jackson, who, I called and asked him, what's going on. And he asked me, did I know how to play the drums? So I wasn't no drummer like Drumline, you know what I mean? Right. So I didn't get that opportunity because his brother used to actually play the drums for the Jackson 5. His name was Jack Jackson. And so eventually I wound up going to Southwest College for about a year and a half. And then eventually I moved in LA from Inglewood. And that's when I met Prodigy's mother. And then eventually I met Prodigy's sister. And then we wound up dating. And then one day she introduced me to Prod. And Prod had a black briefcase full of raps. And I was like, what's that in the briefcase? Because it was kind of odd to see a brother in the hood with a briefcase. And I'm thinking it's money or dope. You know what I mean? And he had a briefcase full of rhymes. And so he wound up spitting a couple of rhymes to me. And I was like, wow, man, you fire. Like, he reminded me of Rakim from Eric B. and Rakim. And then that's when I started running my mouth like, man, you need to put me on, man. I can help you out. Tell them who my dad was. And that's pretty much where the journey begun with me meeting Prodigy and, putting my foot in my mouth saying, hey, I can make this happen. I can make that happen. And I said, give me a chance. And that's when it all started, man, right then and there. And that was in fresh, probably like the summer of 96.
Okay. So you would say SCC officially started in 96.
But it wasn't SCC at first. It was just me telling Prod that I want to be down. And so he brought in his cousin, Havoc the Rhyme Son. And at the time, Prodigy's name was MC Def. Rhyme Son was MC Hell. Chaos, DJ Chaos was always DJ Chaos. And then I added an M to my street name, C Note, right, and called myself MC Note. And that's when we had the first group, and it was called Mafia Style. And Mafia Style was kind of similar to a gang called Mafia. They had a gang called Main Street, and they, their name was Mafia, Main Street.
Right.
And I had knew Del Dog from when I did my first prison bid and met Del Dog, who took me under his wing in jail. And so, the Mafia Style name kind of was like labeling us to one gang, because even though we wasn't in no gang or we wasn't part of Main Street Mafia, it would have singled us out as being affiliated that. So that was our first name, and we had some sweatsuits with Mafia Style on it, Fila sweatsuits. We took our first photo shoot with the finger waves and, the jury and, the troop shoes. And, this was like in 87. And so that's where it all started at. And then eventually we went through some name changes, some group things, Prodigy wound up changing his name to Mayhem, and him and Chaos had did an album called Rap World. And I was featured on a few songs on that, still trying to figure out my way on, being the hype man at that time. Because when I first got with Prod and them, I wasn't no rapper. So Chaos was actually doing the beats for Rhyme Son, Prodigy, and Chaos, who they had a group before Prod met me. They was already doing music. Okay. And so when I actually got the first cassette of their music, I wound up going down to K-Day to meet with Lisa Canning. Trying to just, pop some stuff off when K-Day was on AM at the time. We know they had Greg Mack and all the different people. So at that particular day, I bumped into my father's road manager by coincidence. We sitting in there while he was there, promoting some music for, for some artists that he was working with, and we struck up a conversation. And so I wound up saying, "Hey, I'm from Chicago." He's like, "Oh, I'm from Chicago." And I was like, "Yeah, but then you might know my dad." And he was like, "Who your dad?" And I was like, "Squirrel of the Shot Light." And he was like, "Squirrel? Your mama named Louise?" And I was like, "Yeah, how you know my mama?" And so he's like, "Man, I'm your dad's road manager." And so I gave him one of the TDK cassettes with some songs from Prodigy and Rhymeson. Well, at the time they was MC Def and Hell. And he wound up saying, "I'll call you." So he had hit me back and was like, the guys can really rap, but musically it need a little work. So he wound up hooking us up with our first producer. His name was Chris Jamarama Johnson. So I wound up, setting up studio time with Chris. And then that's when we started learning how to structure songs better, started adding the musical part. And that's when we basically came up with the first album, which was South Central Madness, and also the Living in a Crime Wave. Because at one point, a lot of the members kind of fell off, and it was just me and Prod wind up, and that's how we wind up with the Havoc and Prodigy record. Because when they fell off, we kept moving. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when Prodigy felt like we was getting close to a deal, he wound up bringing them back, and then that's when we started bringing the South Central Madness part of the legacy. And then eventually I wind up meeting a guy named Willie James, who had a company called New Concept Marketing, who helped us with with the album covers and kind of like molding us into being ready for a deal and helping me build my company at the time, which was GWK Records, Gangsters with Knowledge. And then he wound up getting a meeting with Russ Regan, rest in peace, the iconic, sold a billion records, ran Motown, Stack Records. And he liked it, the SCC project, which he also had Light a Shade of Brown. He had the Chill Deal Boys before they came, 95 South with Whoop, There It Is. He had the Bloods and Crip album as well that came out. So we was one of them groups that was signed along with Light Shade of Brown. Wow. So that's where it all started. So it was different little phases in between 87 and 91 before we put out the South Central Madness, because Prod wound up changing his name from Mayhem to Prodigy. And that's when the Prodigy part came in, when he was working with a label out of the East Coast called Cahafa Records. And Cahafa Records has a great producer named Easy Mobb, who was one of the top producers out of the East Coast, and also produced Boney James' jazz album.
Oh, wow.
So it's a lot, man. It's a lot of intervals along the journey.
Havoc, let me interject. I didn't know you went that deep with it. I mean, I know a little bit, about the story, how you came from Chicago and all that. But I mean, as far as how deep you were making moves and making these early connections from the 80s onto the 90s.
Spending the money to finance everything.
Wow. So Hav, it's safe to say, because like you said, you weren't really on the rap side in the group, but people always heard that voice. You were the voice, seems like without doing a lot of rapping, right? Literally, particularly you were the voice of South Central Cartel. Even to this day, I see you just like the single we played with all the heavyweights, you right there as well. The voice though, don't got to do a lot of rapping, but you made that happen. So
well, that came by force because when we first went to Chris Jamarama's house, right, they were already skilled rappers.
Right.
When I got with Prod, I have never rapped or never wanted to be a rapper in my career. So when they wrote a rap for me, I was so nervous, and then getting on the mic and never been on it in my life, it didn't click for me at that moment.
Right.
But because of the fact that I was financing stuff, I had to figure out a way how to make myself important. And so the first thing that came to my mind was Flavor Flav and Too Big from MC Hammer. So I started taking on the role of being that, but being the gangster businessman. You get it, like the hype man. And so I had an opportunity to get on the beginning of the records. And even though I didn't know how to write a rap or intro, I just get on there and come off the head. Yo, this has the Mouthpiece from the SCC. I only got 3 words to say. You know what I mean? You know, so I started molding myself because what I did here was I had a distinct voice, and it had a little country twist because I'm from Chicago and my family from Mississippi. So I had a little bit of the, instead of soda, it was pop. You know what I mean? It was just different words that I was used to and accustomed to compared to how they spoke on the West Coast. So I just started, you know, filling the role of being a hype man. But at the point, everybody was making it like the rappers were the ones. So I felt a little underneath. But I'm the one on top making the ones who's the rappers who, you know, in a sense, because I'm spending the money. I got my father's road manager hook us up with a real producer, you know what I mean? And was paying all of the money, you know, feeding everybody, paying for the photo shoots, paying for the, you know, the shows that we did, you know, at Carlos and Charlie's, you know, pressing up the CDs to go shop, you know what I mean? So I was the hustler. And then eventually Prod started taking over the production as he learned from Chris. You get it? So while he was molding into becoming the great producer he was, I was molding to be like Eazy-E and becoming a label owner and you know, going to all of the swap meets, going to Abbey Road, going to all of the distributors, meeting the Violet Browns, going to the VIPs. You know, I was learning not only the record label part, I was learning how to promote and do all of that part as well. So I was just carrying a lot of hats because I want to feel appreciated.
Right. And it seems like, bro, like I've said, now I'm digging deeper into your story. Like, not only, like you said, were you that the mouthpiece, the voice of SCC, but like you said, the manager almost. It seems like you brought everything together, made things happen. I know you were instrumental in getting the deal with Def Jam. I mean, all of these things. Would you say you were somewhat of a co-manager as well?
Yeah, I was a co-manager, but it was a conflict because, you know, when you're in a group that that all of the members never knew me, you get it? They was all Prod people. So it created, in a sense, differences because I was different. You know what I mean? And at the time I was having money. You get it? And I was driving, you know, the cars. I was doing a lot. And so some people can take that the wrong way. And plus I was flashy in a sense. You know what I mean? And, you know, I had the long hair, you know, because Prod's sister kept me in Prod and Rhyme Son's hair fly. You know, I had the jewelry because I'm in the street, you know, I'm hustling. And so that gave Prodigy the opportunity to cater to creating our sound. Remember, I couldn't do what I did without Prod giving me an opportunity. I want to make that very clear. But once I was given the opportunity, I worked my ass off to become, as you say, somewhat of a manager. I started my own label. I learned how to promote. I learned how to go to the radio stations, and I learned about payola. I learned about all of the things that help make SCC on that part of it successful. Now, as far as the sound, making the records, that's Prod. You know what I mean? He the one that created how to make the music to the point to where me going into a record company to be able to get a deal, because you can do all of that what I was doing, but if I didn't have the sound or the right songs or the right, you know, music, right, then it wouldn't have made no difference. And so what I did was once we did the pre-production, I was like, Prod, we got to go to the big studio. So now we going to the big studios where I'm paying more money besides pre-production. Now I'm paying for the 2-inch reels. I'm paying for the hours in the studio. Then once we get the music mixed, now we got to master it. Now we're going to, master the music. Now we need artwork, photographs. You need to press up cassette. You know what I mean? All that stuff costs money. But it wouldn't have been worth it of my money or the time I spent doing it if I didn't have what Prod basically put together. So it's kind of like I did that, but I wouldn't have been able to do it without Prod.
Right. Shout out to Prodigy, and that just brings me. I just want to go to this because it's weird, but then I'm gonna bring it back because that's way down the line. But I want to say how does it go from all of that and all you did for the group and all the structure and all the success to where down the line where we are now, it's all it's been this way for years now, shambles.
Yeah.
But I guess really, hold on. I want to say this because I heard you did say at the end that it was really you were the outsider, you opposed to all of them. So I can see that too. If everyone is just against just little old you, right? But go ahead.
Correct. But except Prodigy. Remember, I'm Prodigy's sister boyfriend.
Right.
Prodigy's mama loved me. Prodigy's sisters and brothers loved me. We lived together. So me, Prodigy, and Young Prod, we was living together during most of that era. You get it?
Right.
But they were Prod's friends. They grew up together. So there was kind of like, whatever they tried to go against me, Prod stood up for me. And whenever I stood up for myself with them, Prod had they back. So Prod was in the middle. He was like a referee of having one me who was doing all of this, and then the group members who he brought in, right, who he started with, and was trying to mesh it together. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Prod had a lot of pressure on him, dude. And for Prod to be the human being he is, and what he had to endure, man, trying to keep me because of what I was doing, and plus being his brother-in-law. You get it? And then, being friends with LV, Ryan's son being his first cousin, you know what I mean? Chaos he grew up with, you know what I mean? So Prod had a lot to deal with. And for me, even though I knew what was going on, even though I knew how they personally felt about me, I didn't let it affect me. I just kept on doing what I did because what they couldn't do was take me off of stuff that I was paying for.
Right.
You kind of get what I'm saying?
I get it. Definitely.
So that allowed me to stay in my position because I had the money.
Right.
And I was doing the hustling. It took pressure off Prod because that was something he wasn't good at. He was good at making music and making hits. I'm good at getting the hits in the doors and doing everything it takes to make the music sound like a hit. Now, you can go write a song, you can go produce a song, but if it's not professionally mixed, if it's not professionally mastered, then you just like everybody else.
Right.
And then coming from a family of a legend. So I learned early what my father and them did. I used to go to the studio with my dad and them. So I knew what an engineer did. I knew what it took for somebody to mix the song. I knew what 2-inch reels and reel-to-reels and all that was early. And so that kind of, all I did was mimic what I saw.
Right. Tell us about, man, you guys, once it all came together, how that whole Def Jam thing came about. To get a deal with Def Jam Records, you know what I mean?
Being the first West Coast group from the West Coast ever to sign the Def Jam. Plus, we was the only group Russell Simmons signed from the West Coast, right? So what happened was we were signed to Quality, and Quality wound up going in bankruptcy after South Central Madness and living in a crime wave. And so we were in limbo with an album that had just did amazing, South Central Madness. And so Russ Regan, knowing my father from his days, gave us an opportunity to go shop SCC if me and Prodigy stayed with the other two remaining Havoc and Prodigy albums.
Right.
And so um, um, I wind up working with Prodigy's cousin boyfriend. His name was Q Ball. Q Ball was investing in the first original Murder Squad album, right? And so he flew me to Jack the Rapper, right? So we hanging out, Jack the Rapper passing out the Murder Squad cassettes, trying to shop the Murder Squad. And he spotted Russell Simmons. He spotted Russell Simmons and said, Havoc, there go Russell Simmons. Go get at him, because he know I'm fearless. You get it? So once I seen Russell, I went over there and started hollering at Russell. So Russell Simmons wound up giving me his number and told me to call him. For about 8 months, I was calling Russell every week. Hey, Russell, it's Havoc. Oh, I'm busy right now. Call me back. So he never shined on me. He always just said, hey, what's up? Call me back. And so I kept calling back, calling back, calling back, calling back. And finally he said, hey, I'm going to be in L.A. Come meet me at the Four Seasons Hotel. I hurry up, call Prop. Guess what? I got me Russ Simmons. So we immediately started recording some of the songs from And We Trust. And wound up going to the studio, getting them, the sound right.
Right.
And so I wound up taking that cassette from what me and Prod and the rest of the group members wound up doing. And when I met with Russell at the Four Seasons, he wound up liking the music, the little, it was like 6 or 7 songs, and he loved them. And he basically said, I want to sign y'all. So Prod made the hit music, and I got them in the doors to so they can hear the hit music. So it was kind of like a dynamic duo of knowing what we can do our best. Not taking nothing from LV, who sung with Russell. Russell didn't believe in singing being in hip hop. He didn't believe in singing. And that was our secret weapon, LV, which was Prodigy's homie. You get it? And so that created a little rift with us and Russell, because Russell didn't want to sign LV to the contract.
Okay.
So how we made that up was we put LV on G's on the Move on Havoc and Prodigy, and featured him on a lot of the Havoc and Prodigy Kick and Game album. And that's how LV started elevating, because when G's on the Move blew up, Paul Stewart, who was running Def Jam West, because I turned the job down. Leo Corns offered me the job to run Def Jam West. I met with him at the Four Seasons. He offered me $80K a year to run Def Jam West, but I was making $80K selling dope. So that $80K didn't mean nothing to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I turned it down, and they wound up giving it to Paul Stewart. And Paul Stewart had Coolio, Moke and Steph, and a few other groups. You know what I mean? And he was working with Tommy Boy, because he was managing Coolio and a couple of other groups. So he wound up pulling LV. And that wound up hooking LV up with Coolio to do Gangsta's Paradise from the G's on the Move.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, Gangsta's Paradise is forever in history. LV gonna be rich forever off of that.
Right,
and then, he won a Grammy.
Yeah. Wow.
Him and Coolio got a Grammy.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. How did that feel? Well, let me ask you this: being that all of that intertwined and came from South Central Cartel. I mean, shout out to Coolio, but LV getting on that song, winning the Grammy, all the success he had, maybe seemed like outside of the group more so, especially with that big hit. Did things change then? Did LV change, or was it all still a South Central Cartel?
LV always been his own outgoing, outspoken person. To be honest, me and LV never got along. Never. Because I don't know. He always had this thing because of, I never needed nobody for nothing. I was, when you having money, driving flossy cars and women chasing you, and, I don't know. I can't really speak on why, but I tried not to allow myself to not like somebody for not having a reason not to like them.
Right.
So what I did was I never allowed the feelings of how they was feeling towards me to affect me. Until it just got to a point in my career to where, hey, you know, if it's fuck me, fuck you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not in a disrespectful, like I'm bad or nothing. I just got to the point to where, you know, LV started making so much money, it gave him the opportunity to be how he really wanted to be, you know, and move forward. And he got his deal with Tommy Boy, was making a lot of money, doing shows. Me and Pryor kept on moving on with Havoc and Prodigy. I wound up doing the Murder Squad. I wound up getting the deal with Priority Records for Young Murder Squad and Shaquilla. So everybody just started, you know.
Hey, hold up. I want to interject because you said the Young Murder Squad. Someone else mentioned that earlier in the chat. That was another milestone, because I remember when y'all put that out or put that group out. I remember it was around about 95.
Hey.
I'm saying, and I remember the promotion like all over the city. I had like
I was everywhere with that record. East side, west side, you better recognize.
Yeah, the promo was crazy. It was getting played on Rap City every day. You know what I mean? The video, the single
on the box. I had it blowing up on the box.
Yeah. That shit, man. You put a hella promo run on that Murder Squad. I remember that, and the album was dope too.
Yeah, Pryor produced that whole album.
Yeah, they were supposed to be like they were supposed to be like a young South Central Cartel.
Right, correct. Like the Young Murder Squad, because I had the big Murder Squad, you know, with Tretch and Balls, rest in peace. You know, Big Mike from the Ghetto Boys and Banks. You know, I had so many features on that album. I was just going crazy. BG Knockout, Drayster, Jail Felony. I was pulling them in.
Yeah.
You know, I put together the gangster team with Ice-T, Spice One, Tupac. You know, that was another song on In Gas We Trust, you know, that I put together as far as bringing in the celebrity rappers. Of course, Prod made the hit-ass beat. He killed the beat, because when I let Pac hear the beat, Pac didn't even listen to the first 4 bars. He's like, I'm on it, Havoc. And then when I got ready to pay him, he didn't even want the money. He told me, put that in your pocket, Havoc. I was giving him $2,000 in cash. And he's like, nigga, I had an extra $2,000. Sure did, man. Pac had love for me. Yeah,
hey. That's right. Rest in peace, Pac. Let me ask you this though. Being that you put all that out, I remember when you put all that out on Def Jam, but let me ask you this. Do you think if South Central Madness was put out on Def Jam, it would have did way bigger?
Of course, it almost went gold on the independent company.
Right.
But Def Jam was the company that was like at its was the rap company of standard, right? You know, like when Russell Simmons and broke up, when they had Def America, right? When what's his name left with the Beastly Boys and came and signed to Capitol, right? Russell started Def Jam, and so, you know, Russell had got to the point to where the West Coast was starting to make noise, and so he wanted to, you know, tap into the, you know, because the gangster music was starting to really take off. Because his first sign was from Detroit, outside of the East Coast, was Boss.
Right.
And so Boss had Deeper and Deeper. When we first signed, Boss record was the one that Russell was pushing, because Russell signed Boss. And so right after Boss, SCC came. So Russell was trying to expand Def Jam, not to just be an East Coast powerhouse. He wanted to take it, you know, in all aspects of music.
Hey, Havoc, let me ask you this. How was did you get the Def Jam experience? How was the Def Jam experience for you all? Was it a cool experience being on the label?
Well, in the beginning, it was hard, man, because at the time, Russell was starting to get off into movies, Fat Farm Clothing, doing movies, you know, the Nutty Professors. And so Leor Cohen's was starting to more or less run the company. And so I had a couple of riffs with Leor because they didn't understand our type of music.
Right.
And so, you know, you bump heads with somebody who's now getting the power of running the Def Jam, and me knowing how to do this West Coast type of promotion. Because like I said, I was out doing it, you know, with quality. I went on promotional tours with Aubrey Taylor, one of the best street promoters and rap promoters in the game, and music promoters. You know, I worked with John, you know, this was before John Stockton. This was before Kevin Lau, who I took on his first promotional tour. Kevin Lau, fresh out of college, showed him a lot of game on the West Coast. Whatever he was learned on the East Coast, I ain't had nothing to do with that. But he came and was on our first tour with Def Jam on the West Coast. So I'm showing everywhere we went. I already knew everybody. I knew all the record stores all the way up to Portland, because I had already been on tour with Aubrey promoting South Central Madness.
Right.
So, you know, the Sam Goodies, I knew all of the people at the Sam Goodies, the VIPs. I already knew Violet Brown. I already knew all of the major players in distribution. So, I was just sponging up game in every aspect, not just running the company, not just being a manager, not just spending the money, helping with certain concepts of music. I was just trying to put my hands in everything because I wanted to win and help Prodigy win, because he inspired me to be in music.
Right. I want to get to another thing about Havoc, and I'm sure you've been asked it before, but I want to dig a little deeper. The Havoc and Prodigy thing, we know is a Havoc and Prodigy on the East. Rest in peace to
Mobb Deep. Yep, rest in peace, Prodigy.
But before I get
to sue us for the name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna get to that. I just wanted to mention we're gonna get to that for sure. But let me ask you this on the Def Jam thing, being that you guys were Def Jam artists again on the West Coast, mainly LA area, and being one of the few around that same time where you had, you know, the Suge Knights and the Death Rows type shit running the streets. Was there any pushback or was there any controversy because of that? And plus,
no, because
on top of that,
Suge had respect for us.
But I know Suge had issues with Def Jam as well, because I know Warren had it, you know, their thing. So was there any issues with that?
No, Suge always had respect for us. Man, Suge was tight than a motherfucker.
Okay.
I first met Suge at Jack the Rapper when they had the fight with Luke. That was the very first time I met Snoop, Rage, Dash, Corrupt, and all of them came up and was giving me daps. And Suge was with him. He was looking at me like he on a big red Death Row shirt, big, swole like a motherfucker. I'm thinking he a bodyguard, right? So he was like, what's your name? I was like, Havoc from South Central Cartel. And I put my hand out because this nigga was big than a motherfucker, right? And he was like, once I said Havoc from SCC, his whole frame of mind changed and just started giving me respect.
Okay.
And right about 15 minutes later, they start fighting with Luke and them. I watched that whole fight.
Damn.
I watched Luke and them come in through the front doors of the Marriott to start fighting with all of the Death Row people.
Wow. And you know, there's a lot of stories about that old fight.
Seen it. Look,
you witnessed
it. I seen it when it started. I seen it when they was fighting, and I was trying to get the hell out the way.
Hey, well, why you think that was another question I was going to ask you then at that time? Then why don't you think Suge or some of them tried to swoop up SCC, or was there any ever talks of that?
Right, because Suge asked me about leaving Def Jam. Sure did. My right hand to God, Suge said, "Man, you need to come to Death Row, Havoc."
Wow.
And you know what I told him? I'm cool with Def Jam, because we loyal in a sense. You might be loyal to a fault, but you loyal because Russell was powerful. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I didn't want to get into a situation where it created us being in the middle of a beef, like like what happened with Mary J. Blige and Jodeci when they was messing with rest in peace Andre Harrell.
Right.
And he wound up pulling them from Andre Harrell when they did the Above the Rim album. See, it's a lot of shit I know. Right. I know the stories about a lot of stuff I just don't talk about or never talked about, because I ain't the one who's trying to get on here on all these podcasts and just tell every goddamn thing. Some things just ain't meant to be told.
Preach. I'm glad somebody said it. Hey, let me ask you this too then, Havoc. Then why wasn't there any that we know of, or maybe more, collaborations with SCC and Warren G, since you were both on the same label?
I don't know, because Warren G is an amazing brother.
Right.
It's like you got your own camp. Warren G had the Twins. He had the girl group. He was doing a lot of music with Nate Dogg. He was Dr. Dre's brother. He was tight with Snoop. So they had a camp. And so, and in a sense, we represent South Central. They're representing Long Beach.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, as far as what I see it is, it was competition.
Okay. I know, I get that part, but I was just saying, since
they produce music, Pride produced music.
Right.
You get it? So we didn't have to go outside of our clique for nothing. They had Nate Dogg. We had LV. Remember, LV was first.
Right.
You get it?
Right.
So in a sense, we was paving a way for their type of music to get recognized, because we was the first one to bring it to the forefront.
Right. No, for sure. And I'm sure you've seen that when you guys went around the country, right? Because it's a lot of people.
Absolutely.
South Central Cartel wasn't as big as like Death Row or Snoop. On the underground scene, as far as the streets, everyone loved it, and that was the look.
We was the most gangsters group in history, no question.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, NWA was bigger than SCC in every aspect, but when it comes down to raw gangster music, right? Because if you listen to some of the NWA music, they got political stuff. Spread yourself.
Right,
you know what I mean? They had some songs that wasn't straight gangster. Easy was, and Q was the real gangsters of NWA. But SCC was straight street gangster. You know what I mean? Representing the Bloods, the Crips, the SAs. You know what I mean? The pimps, the players, like every aspect of street shit SCC had on our music.
Right. Havoc, let me ask you this. Too, because this is another question. People, what was the connection with the streets? Because you guys pushed the straight street image and looked like gang members and all that, and it was always speculation. People would wonder where y'all was from, because you never pushed no gang on the record, at least never.
The Bloods and the Crips are our homies.
But people, it was speculation. It was 9 Deuce and 9-4, and then you just put in the mic.
That was Rhyme Son's hood. Rhyme Son lived over there and basically was affiliated in a sense with them. Chaos represent the Hoovers. He was family was part of the Hoover. Prodigy was part of a little kind of street hustle gang, right off of Figueroa, with West Side Players and Andy Mack. Grip lived around the Hoovers. I lived around the Hoovers, but I'm from Chicago. I was a Black Gangster Disciple from the Nation when I left Chicago, but I lived in Hoover Hood. And Prodigy's brother was from 87 Gangster, so they tried to affiliate, and LV was from 87 Neighborhood.
Okay, that's what that. Okay, Neighborhood. Okay,
Prodigy's brother is from 87 Gangster, and LV lived in 87 Gangster Hood, and pretty much was a 87, but not just banging, like going out there killing people. He just happened to be affiliated because he lived right there in the heart of 87.
Gotcha.
And I lived with the 107th and the 112 Hoovers.
Okay. So that clears all that up, because it was the no one, man, you guys never pushed no hood, so no one can say that, but it was always the speculations and the sprinkles here and there. But those were the hoods we heard. Hoover, 9 Deuce, 9-4, or 8-7.
Right. When we did the song, we did a song where we gave it up for every hood, from Blood, Crips, SAs, all of that. Bring it on. Take it to the next, where we named them there every hood in LA at that time. And they love that record. You know what I mean? And the one we put out wasn't even the original version.
Wow.
Because we had a sample using a sample and Def Jam couldn't get it clear, so we had to redo it with the original beat.
So what would you say, Havoc, being that y'all, I mean, many albums, even after Def Jam, but what would you say was your favorite, if you could put one up there, favorite project you guys did as a group?
Wow. When I'm gonna break this down in two ways. My favorite album to me is South Central Madness.
Okay.
Because it was our first one, and it was to identify where we were at and where we were going with our type of music. And then, as in Havoc and Prodigy, right, even though Living in the Crime Wave is similar to South Central Madness, Kicking Game would be my favorite Havoc and Prodigy album. Because that's when the G-Funk started elevating. And we was, that whole album, if you listen to it, is more of the G-Funk type of flavor. And then, of course, I love the Murder Squad album because it gave me a chance not to just work with SCC, but work with icons from New York to the South, to the North, to the West. You know what I mean? So,
Facts. I'm glad you touched on that, because I would have to agree. That's my favorite South Central Cartel album. That I still play it to this day. You know what I mean? It's in rotation. Classic on there. And the ones you did,
Gunsmoke. It had the Pass the Dank with Knock on Wood. Like the Murder Squad album had some heat.
Yeah, it did. It did. That was a classic. Before I continue, the homie Tweed Cadillac wanted
That's
to
my boy, man.
Tweed's in the chat tonight. Tweed Cadillac, man, he sends his love.
Yeah, Tweed's a great guy, man. He paid a lot of dues too.
Yeah, that's my brother right there. Shout out to Tweed Cadillac, and check him out on Thursday nights. He does his radio thing, man. So check Tweed out on Thursday nights.
And that was the link I had too. It said Tweed Cadillac at the top.
Yeah, I don't know what you had the wrong link for sure. I'm glad we got that.
You the wrong link. I was sitting there since 10 minutes to 9, waiting on y'all.
Damn, that's my fault, bro. I'm glad. Shout out to my producer DD, who got that in. Got everything together for us. Shout out to DD. Shout out my boy Mark 7 in the chat. Constant growth. What up, Mark Sev, Cram Nebs in the building. But yeah, so moving forward with the Def Jam, how many projects do you do on Def Jam, and what happened with the whole Def Jam thing in a nutshell?
Okay, what happened was we sacrificed for everybody else to grow in Def Jam. Remember when we first put our first album out on Def Jam, it was through Sony Def Jam. And our album was the last release on the Sony Def Jam deal. And Russell was in debt with Sony, a lot of money. So basically, when they said they were leaving, why would they continue to promote SCC record knowing that Russell was about to take our record with him? So I negotiated with Sony to get them to keep SCC signed through Def Jam, and Russell wouldn't let it happen. So we wound up going to Polygram.
Okay.
And that's when Warren G came out with the first record on the Polygram deal.
Wow. I ain't heard Polygram in years.
Yeah, Polygram.
They was a legendary label too. That was kind of when did they go out? Because they were legendary.
Because, Polygram was it was another part of what's the name of the other part? Polygram, but it's gonna come to my brain. But yeah, when they signed that deal, Russell wound up paying Sony this $46 million he owes them from that deal, and wind up, like I said, they put out the Warren G record first on that deal, and that's when Lee Orr was pretty much in full control of running Def Jam at that time.
Right.
And so they re-released our record. Right, and then we and right when that record got released again, they wind up Polygram wind up selling to Universal.
Oh, okay.
So we got caught up in
Okay.
two situations of when they selling the company when our record was being put out. And then
Right.
that's when Russell got to 200 million and in 5 years, where he made $5 million a year for 5 years, keeping his name affiliated with the Polygram deal.
Okay.
When they sold
Okay.
Polygram to Universal.
Right.
To
Right.
my guy Gaimchng3r.
Gaimchng3r. Man, so after Def Jam, what goes on and why at this point? Well, I know you have GWK. How far are you along with GWK Records, and what's going on with you as far as independently at this point? Are you ready to go
Right after
fully
that
independent,
happened,
or what's going on?
I called Russell and quit.
Okay.
Because they kept putting us in situations that where we couldn't utilize our greatness of the music we was putting out. And so I called Russell and I quit. That's when I left and went and got a deal with Priority. That's when I put out Young
Okay.
Murder Squad and Shaquilla.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
the group,
Is this your first time wearing your executive hat? And how did you shape the deal and all that? Did you have help, or was this all you?
oh man, I
Was
went
this your
under
first?
Priority myself.
Okay.
And because I had already been doing deals. I got the deal with Def Jam. I got the deal with Quality. You know what I mean? I got the deal for Murder Squad. So I had already knew all the executives from Cassandra Mills. I knew Monica Lynch, who ran Tommy Boy. I knew the guy who ran Jive Records, Barry Wise. So I'm already rubbing with all of the top executives. We already did soundtracks, Tales from the Hood. That was 40 Acres and the Mule. We got music in 8 Mile, the movie. We got, Priority let me put a song on the Substitute soundtrack. Had the Young Murder Squad playing in that. I had got music with D Shot, E40 Brother on that album, Boss Baller. We was on the Legal Dope compilation with David with my guys who got Master P his deal. His name was Duffy Rich, and them got Master P his deal with Priority. So I was rubbing head with all the executives. I knew, the people that ran Priority. So I was out there, man. I was pretty much known everywhere, not just in the streets, the swap meets, the records. I was going to 92.3 to Beat, Power 106. I was going to KGGI 1. You know what I mean? B91. Like I was like a rover. I was for sure all over. So I was just touching everything, just doing it. You get it? I didn't have no set plan. My plan was to outwork the competition.
Right. Wow. So where is the group at this when you're making all these things happen? Now you're taking more of an executive role. So where is it the group at with everything going on? How they feel about you taking on all these taking over the executive role
because they wasn't doing it. They didn't know how to go about doing it. So how can you want to do something that you don't have the know-how or the willpower to do something? Their thing was Rhymeson loved to rap, so he stuck to rapping. Prod loved to rap and produce. He knew that was his forte, so he became the best that he can be at that. LV was the voice. You know what I mean? He stuck to being the voice. Chaos and Grip were DJs. They stuck to being DJs. Me, I wanted to do everything. I wanted to produce. I wasn't rapping at the time, but I'm rapping now, on my last album, in the game, which, I never wanted to really be a rapper because I wasn't a rapper. You know what I mean? So I just wind up trying to be the best as I can be at everything else. And then, but it was always a thing about people making themselves more important than me based on them rapping. And so that created rifts. You say you better than me because you're the lead rapper. I say I'm better than you because I'm financing you to be a rapper.
Right.
And they never respected the business aspect of knowing the power of what a business person investing money. You don't invest money to get your money. You invest money to get your money in a profit.
So let me ask you this then, Havoc, since you were on first independent, and then you go to a big Def Jam label, you leave there, and speaking of profits and all that, how was the money situations as you guys grew, and especially the Def
But
Jam?
we only made upfront money. We never seen a royalty check in our career. Look, the Gaimchng3r Trust album is damn near platinum. It's 900, maybe platinum now.
Right.
And we never seen a nickel from that record other than the upfront money. I mean, we got over 300,000 for the budget. You know what I mean? That was a lot of money to recoup.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got multiple videos where they was costing, 60, 70, 80,000. So we spent a lot of money on making that Gaimchng3r Trust album. And so
that's going back to the group thing. Now you saying they didn't understand business. So did they understand that part when it came to, okay, we got this 300,000, but it got to be recouped and all this? And like you said, it gets to the point you don't really see money. How does the group feel? Do they understand that part, or was people mad?
What it did was what it made other members think they got beat, and then I'm the man that beat them.
Okay. Wow.
The only one that never really went there with that was Prodigy. Because remember, me and Prodigy was always together because we lived together.
Right.
And everything I ever did, Prodigy knew.
Right.
And then the fact Prodigy made more money than everybody.
Because he produced. He got more points.
I mean, he didn't get what he deserved, but he still made more than everybody. Because he was producing and rapping.
Hey, well, let me ask you this then. Let me go to this, because we know how the record industry works. Most artists don't get paid from the music; they get paid from the shows. How was the show money? And because now that makes me think. I don't know.
We didn't do a lot of shows. They were scared of us.
Y'all were too gangster, right?
Correct.
So, but let me ask you this: but only being too gangster as well, and maybe not having the proper representation, because it was still gangsters touring, and you know what I mean. So
we took the beef? We took for everybody else to shine. Remember, our first record was Gangsta Love, and they banned us on radio for Gangsta Love.
Right.
You get it? Then years later, Snoop came out with a Gangsta Love.
Right.
You get it? So what it was is, even though our music was doing it, we had the look that scared you. The braids, the khaki suits, the Lokes. When we got on the elevator at a hotel, they got off the elevator.
Right.
And then there was always something going on when we went places. All the thugs show up and be fucking shit up.
Right.
Starting shit.
Right. Wow.
So we got banned for a lot of what the gangster shit right early on, because we had the most terrifying look. Like when you see niggas on the cover with all guns, you know what I mean? Right.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't think about that because I was gonna ask, because you didn't do a lot of shows, and that makes sense. So how does, especially moving on forward after Def Jam, I don't know where the group's at, how everyone's getting along, but
the Platinum stayed on because we did the All Day Every Day album. Where that's when I quit, and Russell told Prodigy to take me off all the songs, and so they moved on and did the All Day Every Day album, and I wind up, like I said, going to get a deal with Priority for Young Murder Squad and Shaquilla. So it didn't affect me. You get it? It affected me that I wasn't a part of something I helped with Prod to build that. I wasn't gonna let that stop me, because I got to the point now I knew what I was starting to do now. Like I had learned so much to the point where I was comfortable with, walking my own walk.
Right. Okay. Before we move on with that, let me get back to this right quick before I forget. This is off topic, but we talked about it earlier. I just want to get this out the way and move forward. But this is for the hip hop people. I don't know, people some know, some don't. But the Havoc and Prodigy, you guys are Havoc and Prodigy from South Central Cartel. There's a Havoc and Prodigy from New York. People know as Mobb Deep. When did you guys both? Because it seems like both groups didn't really know of one another. When did
what happened was we first bumped into them at Jack the Rapper.
Okay.
And two of them tried to rush me, and Guru, rest in peace, Gaimchng3r, saved them niggas from an ass whooping. Right. And so eventually our lawyer, Reginald Brown, got a letter from their attorney telling us to stop and cease using the name Havoc and Prodigy. Right. Which we had already did a Havoc and Prodigy album. It had already been out. This is when they were Havoc and Prodigy. They was not Mobb Deep at the time. They were Havoc and Prodigy. And we made them niggas not come out as Havoc and Prodigy. That's why they had to come out as Mobb Deep.
Okay. People don't know that.
So we fixed that real quick.
Right. Wow.
But we never had no beef with them far as them niggas was dope. I mean, Mobb Deep was dope. But when it comes to having the name first, we had it.
Right.
Was it a coincidence? Yes. Did we steal each other's name? No. From both points. You get it? From their point, from our point. Coincidence happened. Dr. Dre, it's two Dr. Dre there. Dr. Dre from MTV, rap,
That's a fact.
You get it?
Yes.
Names just happened to be a coincidence. But when it started getting to the point where you some little bitty young teenagers running up to some grown ass men, is when it became a little to the point to where them niggas could have got hurt. But them niggas ain't no punks. We give them that. But they ain't had no win.
Right.
Even Ice-T told them on the interview. Ice-T had them niggas on the interview, right? On his show. And at the end of the show, you know what Ice-T told him? Hey, you know I love y'all music. I got respect for y'all, but I'm going to tell y'all this. My niggas from the West Coast was the first Havoc and Prodigy. And them niggas shit.
Wow. Shout out to Ice-T, man. Shout out to T. Wow.
Great guy.
Yeah, shout out to Ice-T. Pioneer. So Havoc moving forward, when does everything just, like you said, you quit the group? I don't know if you came back after because you guys did, but when is it?
I was gone for a long time, got back in the street, going in and out of jail, lost everything.
So you kind of go back to the streets after you leave South Central?
Yeah, because I was trying to maintain that life that I had created from the music. I didn't want to feel like I was in something, and then now, what happened to you? What happened to all them fancy cars you had? What happened to that big ass house you had? You know, when you're not making that money from the music, right? How are you going to pay for that lifestyle you done built up to?
Right.
So then I started trying to go back to the street, which I knew good. And then at that point, I started getting busted. I was going to jail. I was, like I got rid of 6 numbers, man. I've been to the pen 6 times and got rid of 6 numbers.
Damn.
Trying to, maintain a life. And then when the last time I got out, I just was like, I promised my daughter I ain't going back. I'm letting go of all that. So whatever God had in store for me, I knew that I had to figure out a way how to survive without doing street shit no more. And so the only thing I know good is music.
Right.
I mean, that was what I learned to be good at, great at. And so I started, dibbling around with groups, and then just wound up going through the same thing, investing in groups. They didn't want to hustle. They didn't want to, do what they needed to do. So I wound up, taking my money that I could have been living good on, investing in groups. And it didn't work out. And so I was ready to quit again. And that's when my sister told me, don't quit. And so I said, before I retire, I decided to change my name to the Gaimchng3r and decided to do me a solo album to go out on my terms. And that's where I'm at now.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a dope journey in full circle. I didn't know the meaning behind that. And with the Gaimchng3r, we know the name change, obviously, but why the Gaimchng3r? Well, tell the people why the name change and why the Gaimchng3r, and even how it's broken down and spelled and all that. Like the Game Changer
But
was
first of
really
all, my daughter spelt it that way.
okay.
She said, "Daddy, you old. You can't be spelling stuff the old way no more." So she created the Game Changer new spelling. And then
Okay.
it just got to the point that music has changed so much and it's not the same. Not just the music sound, the music business, from CDs, cassettes to streaming, links, just everything has changed. And
Right.
so I wanted to change with it and bring, the newer aspect of how it's changing and be a part of the change. And so being a game changer allows me to be that one to change the game. If you notice, when I say game changer, I changed the game. I changed GAME to GAIM.
Right.
I changed the game.
Mm.
And so that's where I'm at
Interesting.
now, man.
Interesting.
I got a great record. I'm not the best rapper, but I can out hustle you. I can
Right.
outwork you. I got more knowledge than 95% of the people that's doing music. And I know how to make music. I know how to produce music now. I know how to write now. I know how to arrange now. I know how to promote. Ben knew that. Know how to go to radio, get my music any and everywhere. I know how to do every aspect of the music game now. It's nothing I can't do. I know how to read contracts. I know how to, whatever it takes. I'm an all-in-one package.
Hey, Hab, let me ask you this. First of all, let me say that single you got, the video we played, man, with Knockout and J.O., that shit right there, that is that's fire right there. That's my type of shit right
That was
there.
meant to be an SCC song.
Man, I
But
love that.
unfortunately, Prod and Young Prod didn't want to be on it.
Man, that right there, that's it right there. That's what I love. That type of
They loving that one. Hey,
yeah,
they
smart.
loving the heck out of that one.
That's fire right there. Then I
And I
see you
took a back seat. I didn't even rap on that. I was Havoc, the mouthpiece on that.
I see, bro. And then you've been busy out here doing video shoots. I was actually supposed to be.
6
You shot a video.
videos.
You shot a video in Long Beach a couple weeks ago. I was supposed to
With
be at
Tretch.
that. Came up, yeah. Shout out to my boy Jeff Quan, BT. You know my boy Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, a great guy. I love him.
That's my. Yeah, he was trying to link that.
Rock.
Yeah.
I
I was
did
supposed
one with I got a video single with Yuckmouth too. I just shot. I done shot 6 videos off my album. I got 2 scheduled, and then another 2 in Chicago. Like I'm shooting 11 videos off an album with 13 songs.
Wow.
Now, who doing that?
Nobody. You active out here, man. You still putting the work in. I heard you say in a recent interview there. I just gotta ask though, but I heard you say in a recent interview you'll never work with certain cats again. So I had to ask and lead to the question: with you doing all this work and doing everything, is there a possibility, or have you been in contact with the old members?
Me and Prod is still tight to this day. We went through our differences, but the one thing is, in spite of the music, we gonna always be family. Because like I said, his mama loved me, my family loves them. I was with his sister for 17 years in a relationship. You know what I mean? We got, kids we raised together. So that part of me and Prodigy and Young Prod would never change on the family side.
Right.
Now, as far as making music with Prod, I won't be doing, because Prod doing his thing and I'm doing my thing. As far as doing a record with Rhyme Son, LV, any of them, they don't like me, so I don't like them. So I'm never going to do records with somebody that don't like me and I don't like them. Right. And so, no disrespect. Like, if they go do an SCC reunion album, I want them to see them do a great SCC record. I just won't be on it. You get it? Right. Even now, far as a Havoc and Prodigy project, we were going to do that, but because the things just didn't work, it just didn't work. So I don't want to go back and rekindle stuff that's just going to bring up old wounds and open up old things. I'd rather
Right.
move on to my lane of what I'm doing and being great at going out the way I want to go out. And
Right.
I don't want them to feel like I need them,
Right.
because
Gotcha.
they always think that my success wouldn't have been successful without them. And I feel like you would never been successful without me. So
Right.
that's a thing that egos clash.
Right.
And I'm not going to let nobody tell me what I done wasn't important. And they're not going to let me be important based on what they did.
Right. Got you. Got you.
You know what I mean? No
I get.
disrespect from either side. That's where the egos come in at.
Right.
And
Right.
so for me, the only way for me to prove my greatness is to do it on my own, which I'm doing now.
You
I got
doing it
number
too,
one
bro.
record on Urban. Shake That Ass Girl, number one on hip hop, rap, number one on indie label, and number 17 crossover. First thing I hear is, well, it's not number one on Billboard. I don't give a fuck about Billboard. I never had a number one record in my whole SCC career. So
Right.
just to be doing that now, you can say whatever you want. It's still number one.
Right. Right. Hey, that was gonna bring me to my next question. How do you go about being that you're working on this? I'm gonna play that video too for you too, brother, in 1 minute. But how do you go about when you're making music, like especially for your new album and stuff? Because you've been through it. You've been through the 80s, 90s, and now music is totally different. But how do you go about making the music so you can satisfy? Because I'm sure even like with Shake That Ass, I see you get into a hip crowd and all that, but how do you bring it all together? Going back again, because
You
the
know
other
what? That's
singles,
a great.
how do you know how to
This is the
satisfy
toughest
everyone?
question of the night. You
Okay,
really on your thing.
okay,
See, me never writing music, I always had little pieces of, like, I come up with a concept. Let's
right,
do a song called County Blues. I was in the county jail, so I can
right,
feed the information about what goes on in the county jail. So
right,
we made County Blues. You get it? So I never really knew how to work the equipment, but I knew what I liked it, and it grew into knowing what I liked. So when I decided to do my album, I wanted to bring back a little bit of the old, blended with a little bit of the new, and then find a lane to tell my story.
right,
And so I never been a writer, but when I started writing this album, it started off shaky. But as I started to get into it, I started getting in a zone from God. And so now I'm writing, arranging, coming up with the concepts, the beats. Like I go say, I want you to take this old school beat and I want to flip it. Then I arrange it to how I want to arrange it. Then I come up with the chorus. Then I call who I want to feature on it. And so eventually it just started leaning back to all of the knowledge I accumulated over the years. And now I'm putting it all to forth into my project, the Final Journey, which my
right,
album is called The Last of My Kind, The Final Journey. And so I want my final journey to be me. I don't want to have somebody write my story when I can write my story. Who can write my story better than me? Who can
right,
tell everything that happens in my life better than me, who lived it from a kid in Chicago, from, like some of my songs tell my story of that. Tell my story from Chicago to here. My album is pretty much has a lot of substance in it because every one of the songs I rapped on is the truth.
right,
Like it ain't no fabrication, to certain degrees. It's a little bit, you want to, spike up a little something here and there. You know what I mean? But 90% of my substance in my record is the truth of my life and my journey.
That's right, that's right. Now tell us also who all the features on the album. 'Cause you got a lot of features, man.
Yeah,
Tell us.
I got Blue Flame, who is amazing, like a brother to me now. I got Yuck Mouth. I got Tretch, Bo Rock. I got a Jail Felony, BG Knockout. I I got a female. Her name is Tanya. She was signed to Death Row. I got Lady Duchess. Pretty much, and the production was done by me, Mellow Mac from Cram, and my boy Matthew Lee out of Vegas, called Hitman. So them the three people that helped me with the production of the record.
Okay. And what is the label? Is your label? What's
Entertainment?
Okay. And now, can the people? I know you got the singles out, but when is the whole? Let me ask you.
The album dropping October.
October. Let me ask you this though. Going back right quick, what happened with the movie, or was it officially released? I know you had an independent documentary you was putting together.
Right, yeah. I just dropped a lot of. I got all of the footage, but I wanted to do some more with it. But I dropped a lot of trailers to the movie and a lot of interviews from the movie. But eventually, I'm trying to finish that, and also I got another movie I'm working on called Ghetto Tears. So I actually got 2 movie projects I need to kind of get back out there, because it is, when you're seeking funding for movies, it's hard, man.
Right.
It's hard trying to get movies. So I'm hoping, with the grace of God, with my new album, putting my name back out there, selling some records, it draws attention to you. And then when people see you successful, they're willing to invest into your success.
Right. Got you. Okay. So the album is coming out in October. What's the official title of the album? Do we got one yet?
It's called Last of My Kind, The Final Journey.
Okay.
So it's pretty much done, man. I got to mix 2 songs. I already shot 6 videos. 4 videos are already released. 4 singles released. I got the one with Yuck Mouth coming out next. Then the one with Tresh after that. I'm dropping that with the album in October. And then I'm shooting a video this month on the 26th and 7th. And then I'm going to Hawaii to shoot another video in Hawaii on the 6th and 7th called Love Affair. It's my love song, like the Gangsta Love song. It's my love song. And then I got 2 videos I'm shooting in Chicago, telling my story from Chicago to LA. So that'll be 11 videos I done off the album.
Wow. He's active, y'all. And tell us about this video we're gonna go to, your single that you pushed. You said it's number 1
on Urban. It's number 1 hip hop rap on Urban, and it's number 1 indie label and number 17 crossover. It's called Shake That Ass Girl. It's a song with me just by myself. One day I was at home, with moms, and we was watching Me TV. They show old school programs, right?
Right.
And Hawaii 5-0 came on. Dun, 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 dun. So I'm sitting there listening to the theme song, and I started going to shake that ass, girl. Drop it like it's hot. If it's, you know what I mean? And I started rhyming that, not wanting to do a record. I'm just doing this out of GP. I haven't even wanted to talk about doing no album. This was like one of the first songs I did on my record. Came from watching TV with moms. And so I called Mellow Mac. I was like, man, I know I'm about to drive you crazy, but I wanted to do a song. So I went to the studio with Mellow, and we pulled up the theme song from Shake That Ass, from Hawaii 5-0, and we structured it, and then I went and wrote the hook. Right. After I wrote the hook, I said the hook. I didn't do the raps yet. Then I went home, and so it was very important to me when I wrote this song, what would make my song different from all the ass shaking songs. So I was like, what if I make it a shake that ass contest? Mm-hmm. You get it? And so I wrote the song making it like if it was a beauty contest, if it was, like and I made myself the host of the contest. Right. And so that's how I wrote the song, based on being a contest. And then, and now it's history.
Hey man, I seen this for the first time. I was like, man, this is a trip right here. It just looked hella fun. Like you was having fun though.
And man, it's so different, man. Like if you listen to the song, it's just different and it's fun and it's laughable. It's you know what I mean? You don't
Right.
have to get too serious. Like, oh, that nigga, oh, shake that ass, drop it like a 6'4" Chevy if it's heavy. If it's heavy, then bounce. You know what I mean? I was having fun.
Right. Hey, what did Mom think about since you made this song up with
Man,
Mom?
Mom fell out laughing because I said the lyrics to them during Thanksgiving holiday. All
Right.
my family was in the living room, and I came in there, I was like, y'all, I want y'all to hear my lyrics to the song. Because remember, I only heard the chorus. So I had it on my phone, and I was playing the music just with the chorus, and I started saying the rap, and they all started laughing, talking about, that's dope. And I thought they was lying to me. But
Wow.
actually, it's a great song, man.
Wow. That's beautiful. You say to have it number one, and how does that feel, man? To have
I
your
never
record?
had a number one song before, even though it's not Billboard, but it's Urban Network, which it covers internet.
Right.
You know, the video got over 500,000 views on my TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah, over 500,000.
That's another thing I'm going to ask you. Then I'm going to go to the video. But with all this new technology, how do you like that and appreciate that? Pros and cons.
I'm on everything. I'm working everything. I'm on every network. It ain't a network. If it helped me sell music, I'm on it. Nigga, from all of the streaming platforms I'm on from TikToks to everything. You know, a lot of them is playing out and not really, Facebook is still good. YouTube is still good. You know, I'm still running advertisement on internet radio where I run an internet radio program. I'm pushing the video. I got a video promotion company. Like certain things you got to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, I'm running the radio ads on, the PlayStation games where they got the radio on that. I got music playing on that. I'm on everything, man. I'm pushing everything. Like, but I'm not trying to build Rome in one day. I'm taking my time because I'm trying to get these videos out the way. I done spent damn near like 30,000 on videos. Because the Shake That Ass video cost me 10 racks. I got models, low riders. I had bartenders there. I catered the food. You know what I mean? Models coming from Vegas, flying them in, driving them in, hotels. All this shit costs money.
Right.
And I don't want nobody to do nothing for me for free.
That's right. Havoc
paying JOs and BGs and paying for the videos, paying for them to come to the video. You know what I mean? Feeding them. Like I'm doing what I got to do to go out on top, man. I want to go out on top. I want to win the Super Bowl and retire. I don't want to come back after winning the Super Bowl trying to get another Super Bowl and then lose and then I'm not on top no more. I want to walk out with the trophy.
That part. Havoc the Mouthpiece, y'all. I hope y'all learned some game. You've been giving some good game tonight, bro. That's what you do. That's what I love you for, man. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Let's get to this video. Go ahead and introduce this video to the
man. This is one of my favorite songs off the record. It's all me. It gave me an opportunity to write my first hit to me, and I wanted it to be fun. And it's from an old school TV show, Hawaii 5-0, and the name of it is called Shake That Ass Girl. So while y'all watching it, y'all can get up and shake that ass too.
That part right there.
Drop it like a 6'4" Chevy if it's heavy.
We'll be right back, y'all. This is Shake That Ass. The homie Havoc the Mouthpiece, the game changer.
Shake that ass, girl. It ain't got no volume.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't hear the music.
I got you. I don't hear it either. I don't know what's going on with that, sir. Wow. I don't know. I don't know. Let me see again.
Maybe you got it muted on from the where you got it from YouTube.
Yep.
You probably got it muted on
I
YouTube.
But I downloaded it though. I already had it downloaded. I don't know why we don't have no audio. Yeah, I don't know.
You might download it with it muted.
Damn. Let me see this. Let me do this here then. Let me work some magic. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. And the video clean, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, man, I got a couple of videos out. I got We the People. I got Street Talk featuring OG Rome.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been dropping them. I'm about to drop these next two videos. As soon as my director finished editing them, I'll be up to 6. And then man, I'm trying to get them all out the way.
Wow.
Like, I just want to get them out the way, man, and then that way I can just concentrate on nothing but promotion and shows.
Right. So yeah, so what's it looking like for the promotion and the layout? You doing some show? You got anything lined up?
Yeah, I got a show coming up on the with Nationwide. I just did a show with Nationwide out in Victorville at the San Bernardino Fairground with Sugar Free, Lighter Shade of Brown. It was a whole host of people. That sucker was packed. So I got to perform at that. I'm also doing another show with them in September on the 13th. I'm going to Seattle to get an award from the West Coast Hip Hop Awards. I'm performing at that next weekend.
Okay.
And then Bobby D from Bobby D Presents about to put me on some shows because he part of the family. So I'm gonna be getting on some of them big shows with him soon. And I'm traveling. I just got back from Singapore last week, and then I just came from Dubai doing some stuff. So I'm trying to get out the country, get my name back out there, network, and just push, man. If you don't want to hire me, I'll just come to your country and find people to hire me. I'm not gonna sit around and wait on old situations to reach out to me when I can go out and create new situations and push myself. I might can't, out rap a lot of rappers, but I'll sure outwork your ass because once you get to a certain point, you get lazy. I don't get lazy.
That's a fact, bro. Man, hold up, man. Doing all this traveling, how was it in Dubai, man? How was that?
Man, Dubai was amazing, man. I had a great time. The food was good. It's a beautiful country. I got to meet meet a billionaire. I toured the city. It just was hot, but I liked it. Singapore better.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, Singapore's beautiful. The weather was a little more to my liking. I went to all the landmarks. I didn't get to get everything because I was only there for 5 days.
Right.
So I'm just then I stopped off in Hong Kong for a hot minute, and in Taiwan for a hot minute. So
stopped off. That's big boy shit. He's got stopped off in Taiwan and all these places, man. How was that?
Man, it's just different, man. It's like you be thinking like a certain way about these countries until you actually get there. And when you get there, it's like normal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like once I got to the airport of Singapore, right? Got down there, hopped in a cab, went to my room. Next thing you know, I was getting a birthday cake with a card signed by the staff. Like, damn, like I don't get birthday cards in America at the hotel, but here they is sending me, because I went out there for my birthday. And
Right.
They was just treating me special, man. The food was amazing. The people, the cab drivers were talking to me, telling me about their family and kids. It's just like, because I have a great vibe wherever I go. I know how to communicate with the poorest people or the richest people or the people in the middle. I know
Right.
how to, I got the mouthpiece for a reason.
Right.
So I'm able to talk to anybody, and so I feel blessed about that. And so I'm converting the mouthpiece into my album, create my own style, my own flow, and my own,
Hey, have you think we ever get a I know you're working on a documentary about everything in your life. You ever get a book from you? And that would be cool to have an
everybody
audio book.
asks me about that, man.
And then you can have the audio book with your voice on there. That'll be hard to mouthpiece.
And that's something that if I was, after I finish promoting this album, and because I plan on doing this all the way to the end of 26, right? Promoting my album, and all my 11 videos, and trying to get my money back, and touring, and trying to make some money. So after the end of that, when I retire, that would be something I would consider, just writing a book as something, to leave for, the younger generations, about my story, my trials and tribulations, my dad's career, my career, the people I have met and people I have influenced, the people who I haven't influenced. Like I want to give it from both sides. I just don't want to be able to tell everybody it's been a joyride. It haven't. It's been a seesaw of a ride. I want to tell about my experiences in jail, and surviving through that, and just it's a lot, man. That stories that only I can tell, and stories that I only know about. And so, my stories with Tupac, my stories with Russell Simmons, hanging out with him, my stories hanging out with Tretch in New York, and going to Def Jam, staying out there for months at a time, going to the company every morning, hopping into a ride, hanging out with the staff there, hanging out with my boy D'Angelo, me and him doing interviews together, going to Houston, hanging out with Lil J, where they call him Big J now, hanging out with, Big Mike and Scarface, doing The Source, hanging out with David Mays on the roof, smoking weed. Like, I got stories, man. Hanging out with Too Short up north, Spice One, one of my best friends, going to San Diego, recruiting J.O. He went from, getting on the Murder Squad to signing the Def Jam,
Right.
Like,
He was Def Jam. Yep. Wow.
So, a lot of stuff that I didn't do it, but I helped open it up in the eyes of people.
Right.
And I never looked for no credit for stuff like that, because I was doing it from my heart.
Right. Wow. Yeah. We definitely need that book. We need that, bro. We need that book, man. We need it in an audio form too. We need the audio book with you telling your story on the audio book. I just think that'll be amazing.
Man. I think because I have got that so many. You need to write a book. You need to do a book. And I really want, told everybody, I want to do a book. I just don't want to write a book based on the way I had ended my career.
Right.
You know what I mean? I felt disappointed in myself because of everything that I ever did. I got nothing to show for it but my knowledge.
Right. So the story's still being written, people.
Correct.
Got you.
And The Last of My Kind tells that, the final journey. It's it for me. Everybody, oh, you ain't finna retire. And I'm like, how you gonna tell me what I'm gonna do? You're not inside of me to determine, well, what if the record do good? That's the purpose of doing it. But I want to do it good and go out on top. It ain't really nothing else that I have to accomplish besides what I'm trying to do with my record, my way. Everything else, I'm going to be in the rap history forever with SCC, Havoc and Prodigy and Murder Squad. You get it?
Right.
Being the first group to sign a Def Jam, having music in major movies, So that's in history. You can never take that away from what I did with SCC. What I want to do is do something for me, my way, so that I can get my flowers for me.
Got you.
Just for me.
Got you. Well, there it is, people. Havoc, man, of the South Central Cartel, better known now as the Gaimchng3r, and he spells the Gaimchng3r
Gaimchng3r.
3R. The Gaimchng3r.
And if you Google that, everything I'm on gonna pop up. Like you say, you need hours to see all the stuff I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, I got a clothing line, new book out. I got, I'm doing a lot, man. It just ain't all came yet. Plus, I got the documentary, the Go Hard docu-film, and then I got a movie called Ghetto Tears, and that book is out too, Ghetto Tears.
There it is. And can they just go to the the website and everything's there? I know all the other stuff, but they can just go to one site.
You can order my clothes, everything, my book. You can find all my music, all the acts I put out. You know what I mean?
Right.
www.gaimchnG3r.com, Gaimchanger.com. Everything's Game Changer. Hey, you see it right there, right? It's even on the hat.
There it is.
It's even on the shirt. Got my logo, everything. Everything's official.
The Gaimchng3r, y'all. So tap in with him, tap in with his website, tap in with his YouTube channel. He has a new video there. I'm trying to play the video again, but if I don't have the sound, what I'll just do, I'll just play the audio from the regular song in the background. So it may be a little off.
Let's do it.
Want to let them hear it. You know what I'm saying? So tap into the new video. It's out now. The website, the YouTube channel, his IG page as well, the Gaimchng3r as well. Tap into all platforms. He's there. We'll go to this video and then come back and wrap it up, y'all.
All right.
Gaimchng3r. Shake that ass.
Now you can go.
Shake that ass, girl. Can you shake that ass? Can you shake that ass, girl? Let me shake that ass.
By the Game Changer. There's only one rule. You got to know how to shake that ass. So don't be shy, ladies. It's time to step up to the plate and show off what your mama gave you. You know, like that junk in the trunk. Like Sir Mix-a-Lot said, baby got back. Facts. I don't care if it's BBL or natural. Let me see you shake that ass, girl. Can you shake that ass? Can you shake that ass, girl? Let me shake that ass. Drop it like a 6-4 Chevy if it's heavy. If it's heavy, then drop it to the floor. Inbound. Let me see you shake it, bounce. Let me see you shake it. Earthquake. Ladies, is you ready for round number 2? Because it's getting hot in here, like Nelly said. It's time to take this shit to the next level. Get down and dirty like a shovel. As you take a peek back and watch your ass move like a rebel. You little devil, as you shift to full throttle. And watch that ass pop off like a bottle. Your ass so hot, it need to come with a fire extinguisher. Let me see you shake that ass, girl. Can you shake that ass? Can you shake that ass, girl? Let me shake that ass. Drop it like a 6-4 Chevy if it's heavy. If it's heavy, then drop it to the floor. Inbound. Let me see you shake it, bounce. Let me see you shake it. Earthquake. After shot. After shot. After shot. After shot. Let me see you shake that ass, girl. Can you shake that ass? Can you shake that ass, girl? Let me shake that ass. Drop it like a 6-4 Chevy if it's heavy. If it's heavy, then drop it to the floor. Inbound. Let me see you shake it, bounce. Let me see you shake it. Earthquake.
as we get ready for the finale. The competition is fierce. It's time for the final four. Yeah, like the NCAA. Man, look at these folks, girl. Why not take it on down? Take that apple bottom down, girl. Who want to bring home this first place trophy? It's getting intense. The competition. Oh,
yeah. There it is, y'all. There it is. Shake that ass, girl.
Hey, so energy.
Yeah. Congratulations, man. Congratulations, bro. That looked like that was fun right there.
Man, I had a ball, man. Everybody that day had a great time. The energy was amazing. The lady was amazing. My whole staff was amazing. I had a bartender serving drinks. We had food catered in. Great director. A lot of people showed up to support the video. Man, was watching the whole layout, and you know, it was a great feeling, man, because you know I've been holding in so much over the years, feeling unappreciative, feeling, you know, certain things that I feel, you know, it's not on nobody else, it's on me, because everything I ever done or everything I ever accepted was by my choice, you know what I mean? And so this album is so meaningful for me. Right. And so I put my heart in it, my soul, my money where my mouth at, from like I always have. And I do everything professional studios, professional mastering, you know, all my artwork, everything I learned through the years, it gave me a chance to now put it all together for myself. So I might not have the money from what I did, but what I did have is the experience to use on this.
Right.
And coming from rock bottom, broke, homeless, everything, to be able to be where I'm at, God is amazing. To be able to come up with the money to do it, you know what I mean? Don't have to be in the street no more, selling drugs no more, doing nothing wrong no more, work an honest job and make good money.
That part. Won't he do it? Shout out to God, man. Shout out to God.
Man, God is what? Shit, we need to do a whole story on God, homie.
That part. I'm down. I'm with it. I'm with it. I give him all the glory. All the glory.
Man.
Yes, sir. Havoc the Mouthpiece, y'all. We did it again. If you missed anything tonight, go back and after this is before it's done, go and leave a comment. Show the homie some love. Let us know that you watched it, and leave the homie a good comment. Let them know that you love the energy, the interview, the conversation, the music, everything. Let us know, you know, our presence was felt tonight. And then after you do that, go tap in with the homie on all his links. Just go to the website, the Gaimchng3r.com. Is it the .net? The Gaimchng3r.com. Tap into all the homies' music, links, everything he's done, the merch, everything.
Trust the site, all of the professional stuff you look for in a website, everything. Like, God is amazing. I know what I'm doing finally.
That part, man. Love you, man. Glad to see you again, man, doing this again.
And I'm sorry about last week, man. I've been like, my conscience been tearing me up about that.
It's all love, bro.
How many times have I said I'm sorry?
It's all love, bro. I already know, man. It's all love, man. Thank you for coming tonight, man. We made history tonight, bro. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, man. God bless, man. And hey, man, keep pushing the music, man.
That part. Love you, bro. Stay up.
I love you too, man.
100.
And them commercials was fire you made, man. Whoever doing your commercials and stuff, they dope.
Shout out to DD. Shout out to DD Hairston, my producer. And there it is, y'all. Much love. Havoc the Mouthpiece. I'm G Lew. Love, respect. We out of here.
In a handicap without a sign, cause it's where the Crips park all the time on mine. I got Havoc riding shotgun. Got one bad bitch, skin glistening under the sun. It's Uno, shot, pour liquor for a real one. Make a real killer wanna smoke a ill one. They go love to my South Central. Homies from the get-go. Here come J.O. Felony, that motherfucker skit so. Scary ass rappers always acting like they with the shit. So they get socked in they lip by a real Crip or a real Paru. I ain't the one to lie to, then you fold like a folding chair when them niggas try to. Just because you got put on the set, don't mean you battle tested. I've been doing this shit, bitch, since adolescence. They already know what it is, you ain't got a question. My hustlers know that I'ma shine when I'm on the record.
Hey, this that gangsta shit. Oh, yeah, wicked in these streets, keep it gangsta on these streets. Pour our liquor one time for your love.
This is a man, yeah, this Havoc the Mouthpiece from the South Central Cartel. And that gangster shit still here. From the crooked north to the dirty south to the wicked east. Y'all know it started in the wild, wild west. Just like Gaimchng3r said, they not like us, and it's still